Mic, audio, and yeah, we got a video. Yay! I hear that's good. That makes it a lot easier to play. Okay. All right. So picking up from last time. Minimize that. You guys, after taking a bit of a break, went down to starting off last time. I want to say Tabitha gave Roger an anti-plague. He was able to shrug off filth fever. Rolled off. Chose to hide the fact that he's suffering. Coming inside, went back down, worked on clearing out the basement. Cleared out the vast majority of the basement. Found that there is essentially a giant trough of viscera in the basement that acts kind of like a crystal ball, but it currently seems to be locked to basically the garden outside. Which, now that I think about it, that trough of viscera downstairs kind of acts like a Ring doorbell. Like, you can pull up the video for it and just look to see who's at your door.
I mean, that's one way to think about it.
Yeah. You did find a hidden corridor, which was went all the way back to this room filled with skulls, or lined with skulls, that was inhabited by a skull fairy, who chose to decapitate Mr. Bones. Unfortunately, he did not make it through that encounter. Outside the game, I found out later on, or I realized later on, he was immune to that death effect. But by then, Dylan already had new characters. Oops. My bad. But now I know for next time.
So, a learning experience.
Exactly. And it felt right for the role play and everything else. Anyways, it's like, yeah.
I was laughing too hard the whole time.
Yeah. And like always, everybody knows we're all just here having fun playing together anyway. So.
Especially just after shouting, "Yeah, we're annexing your kingdom." It's like, yeah, I expected him to take that as horribly as possible, and then he did. And it's like, well, sometimes you do a thing, and then a thing happens.
Mr. Bones walked in and said, "No, this is ours now." And the Skull Fairy said, "Off with his head!" And did it.
Oh, really? Well, this is mine now. Pop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's like, shit. Yeah, that you win there.
After dealing with the Skull Fairy, there was a corpse down there that, while the head was no longer intact, you could tell that it belonged to like a Zankuthan worshiper. A lot of like self-mutilation and body mods and stuff like that. Checked out a couple of the other rooms. Found one of the crypts that still had like a coffin in there. Or not a coffin, but I guess it would be a coffin. A sarcophagus was in there. Still sealed, but you could hear something scratching from the inside of it. You guys decided to leave that alone for now, because while the door wasn't locked, it was still sealed in there, so it's probably not going anywhere. Leave it be. I think that's kind of the bulk of it. Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
I think that's long and short of it.
Yeah. You guys did come back upstairs, kind of take a break, rest up a little bit, heal up a little bit, clean up what you have cleared out, so that was all covered. I think it was mentioned kind of almost in passing, or at least for Roger, that he had... what does he have concealed? Take that off there. Oh, because I was playing around with stuff. he had brought up essentially like at least like he brought up most of Mr. Bones, and we kind of talked a little bit about it out of game or in chat. That Roger's going to try to fashion Mr. Bones' torso, ribs, something I don't know, and kind of wrap him around his shield. So he's got this shield that looks kind of like a it's a skeleton torso just wrapped onto his shield. So his shield has all these bones and everything on it. Looks really cool.
He's putting a roll cage on his shield.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So something that you guys would realize like later on, like the next morning or after a bit, that skull of Mr. Bones, while the rest of him is no longer animated, there is still just a shred of that magic intact inside the skull. So there is still some animated magic. Not nearly enough for it to be like a full proper character, but just kind of meta wise, whoever one person can take his skull and almost use it as like almost hang it on like your belt loop or something like that. And if anybody's played God of War, what was that, 2018, with the little head with the guy that they rescued, Mimir. Yeah. Couldn't remember his name for the life of me. I'd imagine it'd be kind of like that. Like he'll just kind of like hang in your belt, and he'll give little side quips every now and then. But mechanically, what it'll be is whoever has that, you can invest it. Basically, it's like Pathfinder's version of attunement, and it'll give you a +1 item bonus to intimidation checks that rely on speech. And that's going to be kind of like Mr. Bones giving little like support quips as you're trying to intimidate somebody. So where D&D has you can attune to 3 items, Pathfinder you can attune or you can invest in 10. So you're not going to be limited as much. I did make it unique, so if you try to sell it, you're not really going to get anything. Which also kind of makes sense because you're in Geb, and a talking head is surprisingly common. yeah. It's a pest. It's surprisingly common. Yeah.
You know, I had the thought, like, would it be weird to fashion it onto Argon the Annihilator so there's just a head on a hand? Would that be wrong?
I love the imagery.
It's easier to talk. He just whispers things directly into the skull through the stump, and then I just say it.
It's like every once in a while you hear them just arguing with each other.
Mm-hmm. He's just off in a corner arguing with himself. Yeah. Or to any outside observer. Yeah.
Like, I don't remember Argon calling this many people fucko, but
Oh my god. You know, it'd be really, if Argon, I guess we carry the skull, just kind of like hides up in his skull. So when you have to like go use him, he drops down, like kind of runs around, sneaks up behind the enemy,
Little spider skull.
and like scampers back up.
but oh god, it's like a Bender, like when he like took his head off and his head's like it's hey look at me, and then the body just walks behind someone and pickpockets them.
Yeah. Their own little mini distraction.
So if anybody wants to use Mr. Bones' skull, it is on the party loop. Otherwise, I'll just leave it there. Like I said before, or like it says on there, if it's not actively on a character, I'm assuming it's generally unavailable. Like you can't use it in combat or encounters, unless you specifically call out that you want to have that item. Then it'll be mostly considered to be just from like back at your manor. At which point, then yeah, it'd probably be Arguin the Annihilator running around with a skull on his head, on his wrist.
Like if not, Killian might make that a thing. Kind of like take a history out of his corpse stitching. Like, don't move, don't move. It'd be funny. But just chasing around Argon. Like, get back here.
Oh,
No.
I've seen Venture Brothers be like those two council members that got sewn together.
Distribute those coins. There we go. And then also there's just like, if you guys just want to put all your money into the party, you can also do that. But that's, you guys can always do that kind of thing. Now, if you guys end up later on getting like a bag of holding, then it would be the party loot is considered to be the bag of holding. But yeah. So, starting today's session, we've got a key that you found on that exploded head body downstairs. Did we go over where you guys think the key is from?
Don't remember.
I don't either.
I remember people talking about it, but I don't remember if anyone got to like a conclusion on it.
Who has the key?
Oh, was it like, wasn't it like a bank lockbox? Was that it?
I gotta see who even has it.
Oh yeah, it was to the bank that's closed down. I believe I do.
That's right. Rodolph is like a
Yeah.
strange little pickpocket. I'm still waiting to see. Oh, there it is. Ornate carved, key carved from obsidian. Okay. Yeah, and you guys are pretty sure it goes to like a safety deposit box at the local bank, but the bank's been closed for a couple of years, which would line up with about the time that Argon the Annihilator said he saw that guy coming into the house. So. So you've got the key to the lockbox. That's something. You've got just generally the body downstairs. That's something. With ties to Zonkuthon. Berline said she was gonna kind of look into that three-fingered hand thing. But that was also a couple of days ago. But then again, it takes a little bit of time. What do you guys want to do? Oh, and there's also that crypt downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Rodolph, you do still feel ill this morning after you get up. I forgot we did those rolls at the end of last session.
Yeah. Do we want to go ahead and head to the Bloodlord to follow up? Because I don't think that thing in the crypt is going anywhere.
It's been down there for at least a couple of years already, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I think I'd be curious to see if she knows anything about the shadow in the bay over there we encountered.
Shadow.
And what's the affected by shadows for the bone fae, or I forget what it's called already.
The Bone Fairy?
Oh, just
Yeah,
just the fact that there was a bone fairy down there. Okay.
Yeah. Skull fairy. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So that'd be one of those, like, as you guys are kind of getting everything ready. Oh, I got some stuff in the background. Let me close that. There we go. As you guys are kind of getting everything all packed up and getting ready to head out, it'd be one of those, like, doing your morning routines or whatever they would be. You hear this knock at the door. It's just this kind of slow.
Rodolph is not going to answer it when he hears this. He is instead going to go someplace private and try to retch because I forgot I was at level 2 instead of 1 with the filth fever.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what that requires. Is it it's a fortitude save?
Let me see. I think so. I think that's what it is.
Saving throw I see when I hover over the filth fever condition.
Retch, you spend an single action retching and attempt to recover. Lets you make a fortitude save against the DC. Yeah, so fortitude save to reduce your sickened. And you're looking for, I think, 15. 13, sorry.
Okay. Whoa, shit.
All the dice.
Yeah.
The first one passes.
All right.
So we'll remove that. And remove these. All right. We're going to bump everybody up to level 2, which resets your XP. I'll figure out what Roger wants to do with his. That's going to take some getting used to. That we don't just keep counting up.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it makes it simple. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah.
What how many XP to the next level?
Mm-hmm. It'll just take a little bit, like I said, getting used to. So Rodolph is off in the bathroom getting sick, or something like that. Killian?
Killian will go and
Go answer the door.
Is there like a peephole on the door? Is there like a window at all? Or no, it's on the door.
Sure. I'll say there is. And maybe one of those, like, the skull knockers, there's little holes that kind of go all the way through, so you can just, like, look through the knockers.
You know, cause I hate throwing up to our little visitor outside all of a sudden. Make sure it's not the, the ogre?
The
Man.
troll.
Troll.
Yeah. Nima. Yeah. Yeah, you should probably deal with that at some point.
Just make sure it's not her knocking at the door.
No, it's not. So knocking at the door, you're gonna see this I don't know what the hell his name is. The Major Domo. One of these days I'll remember his damn name. Let me take a look. Mirk, that's what it was. Looking through the door peephole thing, you're gonna see Mirk standing at the door, kind of impatient,
So
or looking rather impatient.
open up the door and greet him. Well, how are we doing, Mirk?
Good morning. And he'll kind of motion behind him, and you're gonna see this carriage. There's this carriage which already looks like over the top, kind of. I'm trying to think like almost high school emo, but with more bones, making up like the ribs and everything of the carriage. And instead of horses, it's got like half a dozen half a dozen zombies kind of strapped up in harnesses in front of it. The mistress requested a trip to see you. And she's gonna kind of, Mistress Hud, yeah, I'll do it. Is gonna kind of almost bounce out of the carriage a little bit. Oh, good morning. Killian, yes.
Yes.
I had heard that I had heard you were wrapping up, clearing up the manor.
Yeah, we're almost there. Just if you see a troll around the other side. Just don't mind her. We gotta take care of her at some point.
A troll. Hmm. You're leaving it, or you're still
Well,
dealing with it?
She comes and goes, it seems. So we haven't been able to see her yet,
Hmm.
personally.
You should probably deal with that sooner than later. They can be quite troublesome.
But we're still kind of recovering from a incident in the basement.
Oh. Well. And she's gonna kind of again motion, or she'll kind of motion back to the carriage. Come, come, come. And she's gonna start heading inside. And just essentially almost push past Killian, but there'll be that pause of like, well, I'm waiting.
Like, come on in.
Oh, well, thank you. She'll kind of head
And
inside.
I'd like to think that right at that point, here comes Argon with the skull, kind of like trancing through.
Imagine it'd be something like that. Yeah. And she'll kind of like just take notice. Was that Mr. Bones? As like Argon walks by. Hello, mistress. And keeps going.
Like,
Glad
yeah,
his voice is easy to do.
we had an incident, but we made best of the situation, the best we could.
Hmm. Well, it seems Argun, the Annihilator, is happy with it. Oh, yes, I do remember him. How are you doing, Argun? The Annihilator. Yes, absolutely. Argun, the Annihilator. My apologies. I feel more complete. And he's going to wander off somewhere else. Just head kind of bouncing back and forth as he goes. As she comes in, you're going to see what looks like a fairly fresh zombie kind of climb off the back of the carriage and start carrying some stuff in. This it looks like a female human, freshly zombified, I guess, freshly reanimated. Not a lot of bites or anything like that. Pretty clean cut, like right across like the shoulders and neck. And some fine stitch work putting the head back on. Yes, yes. You take that to the kitchen, and she'll kind of look back over to Killian and the group, and just kind of like gesture as in where's the kitchen kind of thing.
Just kind of lead you around through.
Yes, and do please be careful with that stuff, with those materials. Yes, mistress. Yes. And this zombie female, she'll kind of grab some of the stuff, stumble a little bit, and then keep going.
So what might we honor this visit?
Well, as I said, I had heard that you were making excellent progress with the manor. And she'll kind of look around and almost like wipe a finger over like one of the shelves and things like that. You have done quite well on cleaning everything up.
I'll say, Argon the Annihilator has been a real help. Seems they don't mind us being here.
That is excellent news. Excellent news indeed. Well, I hate to cut things rather short, while I do enjoy visiting and finding news often before the party even themselves realize it is always fun to see the reaction on people's faces. So I was like, yeah, because you guys haven't even been in a town yet. Like, you've been here for a couple of days, clearing everything out.
What
I have
that
brought.
is.
Well, I've brought some breakfast for everyone. This is fairly early, so. My new. One of my trainees is carrying everything in as we speak, and it's that zombie girl kind of walking back and forth. You'll see there's like a couple of pile of bones. She's still not quite sure what like Tabitha and Killian like, so there's more like fresh kills, like a lot of foie gras, stuff like that. And then there's like a little tray of muffins that comes by. She's like, oh, and she'll kind of reach over and grab like something off of there. Ooh, blueberry. Rodolph, would you like anything?
No, round the corner, and Bob a short little bow. Muffins are agreeable, Bloodlord.
Excellent. And she'll kind of reach over and grab a different one and kind of hand it to him. I've got blueberry stuck in my head, so I'm going to say it's a blueberry muffin.
That works.
I don't know why I'm thinking that, but... Well, shall we get to business, or at least over this continental breakfast, we'll call it.
Feel free to take a seat at the table. No need to stand.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And imagine everybody kind of heads into the dining area. Now, a quick recap. While you were here, working on your new manor, working on making it more livable, I sent a team over to the farmstead. I must say you did an excellent job securing the facilities. There was a young gentleman blockaded in a back well. Apparently, he wasn't sure if you all were there to rescue him or eat him, so he kind of kept quiet. Zombie fellow, one of the corpse tenders, seemed to be about the only survivor my people could find. It's quite unfortunate.
Oh, we didn't expect there to be any survivors.
Did the
Oh,
corpse tender see anything?
he did mention that that he had been working with a small group of zombies, and the alarms sounded, but in seeing several other corpse hands run to the area, he chose to retreat back and barricade himself in. None of them were trained fighters, mind you, so it's not entirely his fault. I wouldn't expect everyone to be able to fend off an invading army. Plus, there's someone remaining who knew how things work. He's been somewhat promoted, at least temporarily, until I can find someone. Until I can find a new head for the farm.
I see.
As for that hand you found on the cloth, except for some small passing mentions, I couldn't Even my network couldn't find anything about them. A brief reference to they called themselves the Three-Fingered Hand or something to that effect, but nothing substantial. However, I do happen to have a friend, a high priest of Zankuthan. A quick, actually. Kind of motioning to Rodolph. Like you and I. I'm still not sure how Dompier are seen, if they are quick or not. They're not undead. So I don't know. I don't know how to treat you guys. His name is Ortegar. Ortegar Stitch Skull. A very pleasant fellow. We share several meals together. Anyway, as I said, he's a high priest of Zankuthan. He runs the local temple. Several individuals follow their teachings. He apparently has some leads and offered to share the information with you.
Well, that is very good.
Where will we find him?
He typically stays within inside the empty threshold.
Do I recognize if that's within the city or is that elsewhere?
Give me a knowledge check. I would say probably society, unless you've got like a city lore or something like that.
Okay.
Just kind of how much you know about it. So 16. So you would know the empty threshold. It is like you, even on a low check, you would know of it. It's one of the largest public edifices dedicated to Zankuthan in the entire inner sea region. At least outside of there's a whole nation that worships him or worships Zankuthan. Let's see, inherit. So this is probably one of the largest single temples. They tend to almost work as cults. The structure itself has, like most of the buildings in town, it extends quite a ways underground. Where'd it go? Empty threshold, 21 on there. Structures have all kinds of architecture defects, like narrow hallways, low ceilings. Most people tend to avoid it just because Zankuthan, we kind of mentioned it last session when you guys found the body, is essentially like if you took the Cenobites from Hellraiser and made it into a singular entity god. That's Zankuthan. So all of Zankuthan's teachings tend to focus around self-harm.
Oh, yeah, you want to see an image? I have the wiki up because I've been reading on it. It's my god.
Oh yeah, Zankuthan. The history of Zankuthan is really weird. They're not sure if it. Yeah, it gets wild. I've listened to some of it. It's it used to be a good deity that went into the shadow realm and the void or something like that, and came back and wasn't.
Somewhat possessed. Yeah,
No
he
one's sure
really-
if he's possessed or just dark or a reincarnation of a previous version. Yeah, it gets really weird. Anyway, the empty threshold is specifically a temple to Zon-Kuthon. Most people avoid it. Lots of torture chambers, disgusting surgical suites, stuff like that.
even mentions that they wear like tight black leather with exposed bits to show off the surgeries. Like they are straight up, like
Mhm.
yeah, we copy pasted Cenobites. Fuck it, we did it. Say something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they're not even like taking a step back. They're leading all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when she mentions the empty threshold, Rodolph is going to take a slow breath, just through his nose, let it out, and then nod. Very well. We will visit him.
I assure you, no harm will come to you. No
I'm not
lasting
concerned about
harm.
Blood Lord. It is a challenging edifice.
Quite, yes. Anyway, Odegar's extended an invite. Yet another reason I decided to stop by and present it myself, as it were. I heard he has several people willing to help. Any favor to a bloodlord is quite useful.
His helpfulness is appreciated.
Mm. Well, I will send word ahead. I'm sure he will be ecstatic to have you alongside him for dinner. Seated. He is a quick. He's not a cannibal.
Of course.
So, well, what do you have planned for the rest of the day? Oh, I apologize. Everything went well on clearing out the manor, I assume? You mentioned you had a troll problem outside. And
How much
from
do you
the looks
know
of it,
about-
and she'll kind of motion like, I imagine like Argoon scuttling by again, and Mr. Bones, where the fuck are you taking me? Well, except for that.
What do you know about skull fairies?
Hmm. Quite rare, in this plane anyway.
And just kind of point towards Argon and Mr. Bones scrolling by.
Mr. Bones is a skull fairy?
Well, no one popped their head off.
Oh.
We seem to have one that deemed its kingdom in a hidden room downstairs.
Well, they're typically the result of either shadow corruption or a fairly potent curse from another caster. Almost like in a chemical bomb planted inside your head. It grows and grows and grows, and then plop.
You know, it seems the previous owner had a visitor that just never left.
Well, if they had a skull fairy, they certainly won't leave anytime soon.
Luckily, we were able to dispatch of the skull fairy.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, not soon enough.
Oh, before I forget, and she'll kind of reach into reach inside of one of her robes and pull out a note. This specifically is from Ortegar. Ortegar. Ah, damn it. Hold on. Not that one. Where's it at? Handout letter. This should do it. There we go. She'll hand this to one of you guys.
Your road elf will take it.
Yeah. Did you need any other assistance within the manor? It sounds as if you have everything well in hand.
We do, Bloodlord. It is only a matter of time before the last of the vermin is dealt with.
Excellent. Well, let us continue with breakfast then, shall we? And she'll kind of motion to this spread that zombie girl's been kind of handing out as you guys have been kind of talking. Ooh, I wonder if it's in the art gallery.
Oh, the closer on that letter. Eternally envious.
Mm-hmm.
So, jumping forward an hour or so. Breakfast is all done. Mr. Subdoli or Bloodlord Hodoli is kind of packed up and headed out. What are you guys gonna do?
I guess
You
the
got
sooner
mo-
that we visit the priest, the better.
Well, he's all set to meet you guys for dinner.
For dinner, that's right.
Yeah. So we'll say, like, by now it's probably 10:30.
Uh,
Like, we could probably save the coffin downstairs. I am curious.
yeah, but I'm not necessarily looking for a fight. Not with that thing, anyway. Don't even know what it is.
It's a puppy.
Yeah.
Cerberus, skeletal puppy. No.
Now, we know that grave trolls are generally considered to be pests and nuisances. Do we have any idea how strong they are, generally speaking?
Let me take a look here. Tombstone trolls.
Tombstone trolls.
Yeah, I remember. Did we do a check on them at all?
I don't remember.
We did. We learned that. Well, that's how we learned that they're considered pests. They. I don't think they speak.
Let's see. So the DC is listed as. Oh wow. Okay. I want to say just because I don't remember the specific roll that you guys made. Maybe didn't necessarily gain like hyper details, but tombstone trolls are kind of like trolls that have been exposed to negative energy as they were regenerating or suffused with it. So now they're in like this constant cycle of dying but also regenerating. As a result, they tend to kind of shrink down, so they're not like the normal large giant troll that you're used to seeing. They're kind of small. Actually, they're specifically small. They are still giant type, still troll type, chaotic evil alignment. They speak Jotun, giant language.
That's right.
And without remembering the specific roll that you guys made, that's what you would remember. As far as mechanical details.
Okay.
Unless you want to make another check.
What would it be?
It would either be... You could either use like a general knowledge check, or if you have... I don't know that any of you have a lore that would necessarily apply here, because they're not zombies.
We got nature, occultism.
I'd like to try and because I have the discern secrets cantrip, which would give me a bonus to recall knowledge, sense motive, or seek check related to it if I use it on this. Sure. And I'd like to try and see if I can remember what tombstone trolls are most attracted to. So maybe we can use that to bait them out into the open.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no specific core skill tied to it. So any of your core skills, like Arcana, religion, nature, occultism. I don't think society will apply, but...
Yeah. I remember us talking about dragging the body that was left over from the Skull Fairy popping out. I do remember that, and using that as like a little bait.
Potentially as bait, yeah.
I don't remember if we could like trap the body, like just like kind of set up a little trap or something.
Maybe. Rodolph, why don't you give me a knowledge check?
Okay.
And you should be able to hold shift and hit one of your knowledge, and it should give you the pop-up.
Okay.
And then you've got recall knowledge, discern secrets already on you, so he's got to check that as on.
Got that as on. Okay. There we go.
And then roll. 22. Oh, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
You will know. Let's see. Like I said, giant troll, chaotic evil, small size. What do you want to know? One question.
What is its preferred meal?
Let me see. You often lair underground. They prefer They'll eat just about anything. I mean, carnivores strongly. They'll eat just about any meat, but because of their condition, they prefer more the recently dead.
Okay.
But in a pinch, they will absolutely go for the long dead. And in an absolute pinch, they'll attack smaller, smaller things: dogs, cats, children, gnomes, halflings.
Okay.
Things that thinks it might have a chance at fighting.
Yeah.
But that's like a last ditch thing. They would much rather go after already dead meals. They're almost more like the vultures of trolls.
Mm-hmm. So Rodolph will kind of share this as he's thinking aloud, and then add, "Perhaps we might be best served going to a butcher and having something recently slaughtered brought back to the manor, laid out at the graveyard."
Meta point. You can continue making knowledge checks. The DC gets higher the more you make, but you can continue making them and to get basically more questions, so long as you keep passing.
I guess the other thing to figure out is the frequency at which they show up.
From what you guys remember on the previous check, think of them kind of like a raccoon or a possum. Like they're very much pests. Like they don't always. They're kind of rare to find. It's like, God, they're really hard to get rid of once they're there. Like a nest of feral cats.
And we know this is a recurring problem because Argon said as much.
Yep.
Actually, no, I think might actually want to go outside and check the area and just like see the general direction where it's coming from. But like, kind of like coming from woods, coming through the town. What's behind the manor? Like,
Yeah, Colic Manor is still within Greatridge's walls, right?
It's just outside of town, like half
Just
hour
outside
outside of town. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite suburbs, but it's out there a ways. I mean, you got a small plot of land.
Okay.
so I think I
It
definitely
is outside
figured-
the city walls. See, man.
I think we should do where the general
Oh,
direction
cool.
it's coming from.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. So the basic action macros, if I just hit recall knowledge, take a snapshot of this. And this obviously won't apply to your check, but it tells me all your knowledges and what your training level is, and it automatically rolls it and says, yeah, it's all this. It just does it all for me. Yeah.
Maybe Killian can get the lay of the land and see if he can figure out where the troll's coming from while Rodolph goes to town and gets bait.
Sure.
Okay. And maybe I don't know, maybe Argon can help out with figuring out where it's coming from since he's had run-ins before.
Ah, there it is. Track. This should be interesting. Okay. Killian, give me a survival check to start your tracking.
Not the best, but we'll see what.
15. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's on there too. Hey, look at that. That's on your basic actions. Cool. Even if it doesn't show up in your character sheet. So, for about an hour, killing, you'll kind of go out, and with Argoon's help, he'll kind of, okay, this is what I saw it last time. And you'll kind of go out to like the reflecting pool and kind of follow it around, and you'll follow it for about an hour, kind of following these tracks, and you kind of go up and down the hills, and you'll find what you're pretty sure it's a cave or like this kind of recess, not terribly far from the manor, maybe quarter mile, half mile, maybe a decent little 15-minute walk. And it's pretty heavily overgrown, but you looking at it, you can kind of judge, like, if you were to pull back the brush and stuff like that, you could probably fit in there pretty easily.
Does it have a smell?
I would say the smell's probably a little bit stronger than what is generally around Geb and Grey Dirge, being that you're in a region that has a lot of undead anyway. It probably is a little bit more pungent here. But it's one of those, like, if you were just walking around, it wouldn't stand out any more than usual. But since you're looking for it, it's like, okay, yeah.
So I think we may have found where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm. Without going in there, you're not sure. You're not 100% sure, but it's a safe bet.
We may
At
look
the
down
very
the-
least, that something is here. Yeah.
Yeah, Argon the Annihilator, how sneaky are you?
I in the night.
Do you think you might be able to get a little peek?
Maybe.
I may have to hold Mr. Bones, just so you don't have to like bump into something.
That's true. He can't keep his mouth shut.
I'll just kind of pop off Mr. Bones. Like, go take a look. If you wouldn't mind. But be careful, will you?
And Argon the Annihilator will kind of go up towards the brush and just almost stop. And you'll see that stump kind of lean up against it. There's definitely something back there. I'd say something about the size of Waldorf. Yeah. Argon the Annihilator has life sense.
Ah. Well, I think we can, if we don't need to lure it out, we might be able to even trap it in its own den.
Yeah, he's got life sense 30 and tremor sense imprecise 30. So he knows something specifically is back there.
Let's head back to the manor. Now we have an idea. Maybe it's sleeping at the moment.
That sounds like a good idea. Rolled off, your spell did not use a focus point.
Yeah, but at second level, I get another dot to the pool, so I just wanted to make sure that was topped off.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, because I didn't have you guys rest at all. That's what I could do now. I thought I did. Yeah. Rest. Burp. There you go. Anyway. Oh.
Oh, that's
There we
interesting.
go. Hmm?
I don't have the Hymn of Healing focus spell or the magic weapon spell.
Oh, I didn't add it, did I? Fix it. I forgot to add your spells.
I think everything else is good.
Bard. In. Do you get 4 prepared spells? Or, no, you're not prepared spells anymore.
So Soothe is a muse spell. I get it as part of my muse.
That's right.
So Magic Weapon, Liberating Bane, and Bane are my actual spells.
Yep. Burp. There we go. Kill. I didn't bother to even look at your spells. You said magic weapon, right? Got it.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you're pretty sure you found where it's at, or where it's nested at. Jump over to Rodolph. You're running into town.
Mhm.
Right. Hitting up the butcher, all that, all the usual stuff. Anything you want to do while you're in town?
No, I think that's the only errand I'm running.
Okay. So get that dealt with. Head over to the butcher. How big a meat are you? Or how big a piece are you looking at getting?
I'm thinking something about like how to put it in physical terms.
Halfling size, hamster size.
Something about I'd say the length of a forearm.
Okay.
And what Rodolph is thinking right now is like disabuse his bait that he could hide the hamster in. And once the troll comes out, he could use the hamster as a focus for spells to, jack up this troll.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured he's just getting like a hunch of something.
That's right. You can prepare 3 spells too. I forgot to change that. Burp. Okay, so kind of talking to the guy, it would probably cost you. Let me see. That's not what I want. Something about the size of like a human forearm. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be. That'd probably cost you a gold,
Okay.
depending on how fresh you're wanting it.
Yeah, like the more recently it was killed, the better.
Okay. That's perfect. So you get two choices. Like if you want like the absolute freshest, we can go to 2 gold, and it will be. It doesn't get much fresher than that. If you want like it was just carved up last night, that'll be like a gold.
Yeah, Rodolph would be looking for something where, like, if it had a mouth, he could still like hear the echoes of the last breath it was giving.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going for. Yep. So yeah, if you pony up 2 gold, this butcher's going to kind of motion in, and there's going to be essentially a slave brought in, and his arm's going to be held out on the table, and he'll kind of hold up this knife. How much you want? And he'll kind of hold the knife up, like it kind of floating between like the elbow and the shoulder.
And Rodolph will kind of examine the arm, and he'll tap a spot on the arm, about there.
Meanwhile, this person on this table's like, no, no, please, no, no. Excellent, good choice, boss. Clunk. And then the 2 guys like holding this person down. They're gonna put gauze on his. I'll go get him treated. We'll need the rest for later. Don't let him die. And they'll kind of haul him off. You want that wrapped, or are you just gonna carry it as is?
A wrap, please. I have very specific preparations to make.
All right. And I'll kind of go over and start wrapping it up.
Yeah, once that's all packed up, he will make his way back to the manor.
All right. I'm assuming you're gonna sell that spice box while you're in town.
Not yet. I'm kind of 2 minds about what I want to do with that, but not just yet.
Okay. Then I'm also guessing that you already took the gold out.
Yes.
Okay. I found out like super easy. You can just hit the plus and minus at the very top.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a quick, easy way to do it. It's like, oh, cool. All right. So, let's say, like I said, you guys are about a half hour outside of town. You don't have a wagon or carriage or anything, so about an hour round trip. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to do something about that soon, but
Oh yeah. So it'd take about the same amount of time. You'd probably get back right about the same time Killian's getting back.
yeah, when they link back up, Rodolph will hold up the package. I have the bait. Did you have any luck?
We found the nest.
Yeah, it's about a short walk from here.
Excellent.
In a little den.
Do we have any
So-
fire?
So we can
Those
either
will beat the
smoke out
fire,
of it-
what?
Smoke it out of a den, or let it come to us.
I think we'll let it come to us with this bait, and I can trap it where it is, and assuming we can prepare any fire, then we can use it on the troll.
Let me do this. Okay. So you guys want to try to fight this troll today?
I was gonna say, I'm like, how essentially do we technically do, Nate and Jane's character? Are they like not here?
Hmm. pilot them. Sure. I was debating if I want you guys to do it or if I can just do it. I'll just do it.
Like, or we can wait till after dinner, and we talk with
Mm-hmm.
and
Also an option, because he absolutely has somebody that he plans to send to help you guys.
we can consider that our
Meta-wise, but
trial period. See
yeah,
how they work out.
that works.
Makes sense to me.
Then maybe while we're gone, we can have Argon do some preparations to the limb.
Yeah, maybe put it on ice until we get back, and then we can I say reheat it, but like season it up a little bit.
Yes, sir, as you wish. And Argon will kind of go over and like he'll grab the it's gonna be really weird. He's gonna grab like the hand with like his middle three fingers or like his pointer, middle, and ring finger.
Well, I could just say we put
And
Mr.
just
Bones
use, like,
back
his
on and just shove
thumb
it in
and-
Mr. Bones' mouth.
And then he'll use his thumb and pinky and just drag it across the ground.
We'll put Mr. Bones back on, like just put it in Mr. Bones' mouth. How he carries it.
But at least, but you're still dealing with like an entire arm versus like a wrist and hand.
It's a cat dragging a pillow along.
Yeah, it's Pizza Rat. Yeah. So fast forward to dinner then.
Yeah,
Now you've got the image of like this hand dragging an arm.
Tie a little rope. Here, no,
Yeah.
hold on. Tie a rope to the stump. Tie a rope to the limb. Now go. Just green.
Yeah, fashion a little harness for it, then it's just fall out encumbered, just trudging along.
I like that you're making him carry it. Like the kitchen's right here. Like the kitchen's right around the corner.
Look, we don't treat it any differently. No matter. I think he would just be more angry if we treated him differently.
You guys are gonna have to hire some staff or something.
Yeah.
Decent sized manor. Yeah, sure. So heading to dinner. There's my notes. That's chapter 1. I want chapter 2. There. Dinner at the empty threshold. So, as you guys arrive, the empty threshold is like it's listed essentially as like the epitome of Kuthite construction. In Geb, worshippers don't have to hide their faith in like basements or attics like they do in the rest of the world. So this place is ostentatious, it is hideous, and it is massive. There's a lot of intentional defects and asymmetries. They're designed to cause as much discomfort as like the skulls and twisted sculptures that line like halls and alcoves you see around the rest of the place. Just looking at the empty threshold, it hurts your soul. If you've ever seen those places, like, yeah, when you can just tell everything is not right, it's one of those places.
Yeah, Rodolph is fighting to keep a straight face. Like, as a halfling, I imagine he doesn't feel the claustrophobia as much,
Mm-hmm.
but like this is just an offense to his sensibilities.
Oh, that's right. You're like the Builders Guild too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
this
I
is
imagine that there are stories told about this place among like initiates. Like this is the biggest piece of shit we've ever been commissioned to build, and we can't say that.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys get to the entrance of the temple, there's gonna be a trio of acolytes. Oh god, fucking Paizo and these names. I'm gonna type out these names.
Final Fantasy and Dragons names.
Not even.
Oh god. Oh,
That first one's not a typo.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yefka. Yefka.
Yeah. Um, three acolytes. They all have like black leather garb, and they carry these serrated daggers in their hips. The first one, Gifka, is covered in tattoos that have like these beautiful creatures in like terrible pain, while Rafaela and Teket all have what look to be pretty fresh scars. Like they're still kind of red and just slightly swollen. And they have this like they try to speak in unison, but it's not quite. So it's almost an echoey. You can kind of tell like when they stumble over each other. Welcome, welcome to our temple. The high priest is expecting you. Please come this way. And they're all three gonna turn and kind of walk in unison, leading you through like the small ablution room. And they'll kind of turn back. Do any of you need assistance with the cleansing rites? And you'll notice is like Teket and Rafaela, like they're just barely managing to restrain this grin, like an eager grin.
Cleansing rites.
Yes, it's the ceremonial washing, cleansing of blood from the supplicant's body, from the outside.
Can I get a feel for whether this is like an actual done thing, or are they fucking with us?
Either a sense motive or a religion knowledge. It could be one of those like, how much do you know about the faith? Or you're trying to tell them specifically.
Yeah, I'll see if this is a thing about their faith.
I mean, religion knowledge. $19.
And I think sense motive is all considered perception, right?
I think so.
So I think it's all grouped under. So I don't see the.
If you, I think I set it up for everyone. Like, if you have your token selected and you press number 1, it'll give you that big pop-up thingy, and you got sense motive on there. Killian's actually the best at sense motive.
Okay. There we go. Ooh, and I just rolled 5.
And then you rolled a 10. Womp womp womp. Mah, mah, mah. I'm gonna say with a 10, that's gonna be a regular failure. So you're not really sure. Right? Like you're not picking up if they're being false or anything like that. Roldolf with a 19. I say Zon-Kuthon and such worship is common enough in Geb and Great Urge that it would be a considerably lower DC, especially with such a big kind of gaudy, over-the-top church like this. You would know that with Zon Kuthan, there, if you're coming in for like an official thing or an official event, there is something of a ritual cleaning or bathing. Part of that is a small amount of bloodletting. Not enough to, I would say, kill you, but it's one of those, like, you have to have pain in order to have pleasure. It's kind of one of the core tenets of the faith. There is no pleasure without pain. So as far as the ceremony, oh yeah, Gefka is being completely serious.
So when you say official, is this like official as in ceremonial?
It's more. The high priest has made a clear invitation to you. It's not like a meeting of friends. Like, this is going to be business. It's not necessarily to the point of like a formal state dinner, but he is maintaining his status of position in this meal.
Okay. Rodolph is going to tilt his head. Our invitation led us to believe that this was going to be a private matter, not an official one. As the cleansing rite is for official business. I was not given the impression that there would be any ceremonial rites performed.
As you are not a member of our congregation, it is your right to refuse. We don't force worship on anyone.
Then with respect, we shall keep this private and forego the rite.
Very well. Shall we? And they'll turn to head back in. Do I have a scene for it? That would be cool. I don't. Ooh, I can play it. Macro. What's that? Oh, okay. I see it now. As you guys get in, you will kind of hear echoing through the rest of the building, just like the cries of pain and help. That's eerie.
Yeah,
A little bit.
creepy.
I set all the ambience so it'll only play through once and not again, just because some of them are it can get a little aggravating. The acolytes are going to escort you guys the rest of the way through the temple, into Ordegar's dining chamber. They're going to go past these kind of like they're going to go past these side hallways and try to look down. It's fairly dark, so unless you have like a torch or dark vision, you're not going to be able to really see back through there very well. You'll make out one or two of them. There's a few dead-end passages. You'll see a couple of like acolytes kind of. In one of them, you'll see like an acolyte kind of huddled in a corner, almost whimpering to themselves. Okay, I have to stop. That's unnerving me. It's because I'm only getting it in one speaker. It's just getting all the way back through this place. You kind of go down some crumbly stairs. There's a large worship hall that's empty at the moment, and finally, there's gonna be this discreet door that kind of leads back to Ordegar's chambers, and the acolytes will go up to the door and knock, 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 knock. Enter. They'll open the door. After you.
Rodolph will nod and enter.
So as you guys enter into this place, man, this is probably a good spot for Dylan to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably like already seated or something like that, or at least present.
They're probably not even seated. He, the kind of servant that doesn't really treat themselves like a person. Just kind of silently stood behind the priest. Oh god, you're a halfling and a gnome.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
About 6'8", 200 something up there pound wall of dude, and mostly black leather, except gaps in like somewhere like around arms and legs where you can see it looks like the skin is not big enough, and the best way to describe it, like Machoke in Pokemon, how the arms and legs kind of have those tiger stripe almost rip parts. Yeah, he kind of has an issue of constantly growing. So there's a lot of just tears and scarring over that look like basically stretch marks turned up to 11. And just these almost like milky white, like almost pupilless eyes that just seem to be like slightly darkened in the middle, and a blank, almost pleasant expression. Just completely motionless, just standing there. Maybe stare. It's hard to tell what he's looking at with his eyes. Let's go repost. That's the image I've had for him.
Very Cenobite, yeah.
Massive intimidation.
Yeah.
You just walk into a room and have to roll against everyone.
Especially be a Kuthanite. Yep.
He hasn't talked yet.
Oh yeah. So you'd see that guy standing behind Ortegar Stitchskull. Ladies, if you would. Gentlemen, please enter. And he'll kind of motion to this smaller table in front of him. Looks like it's set for 4. It's like a small dining table. Please, if you will.
Thank you. Rodolph will seat himself.
How are we this evening?
Quite well. As I'm sure you both know, I'm Ortegar Stitchskull, priest here at the Temple of Kuthanite. While I know of your group and your workings with Mistress Haldoli, I don't know you specifically. If you would be so kind.
Rodolph Mason of the Builders League.
An architect. It's not often we.
Corpse stitchers.
It's not often we see a quick, especially with so much influence directly to a bloodlord. And
Indeed.
kind of nod and kind of look over to Killian. And you're not a quick, but neither are you a dead. I suppose corpse stitchers are just right where you belong, aren't they? I apologize. This, and he'll kind of motion back to the giant dude behind him. This is one of my acolytes, Grenzenlos. Zenlos, introduce yourself kindly.
And he's just going to bow his head slightly, lean up, and almost sounds like he's on an iron lung, just breathing normally. Each time he opens his mouth is, I've heard that you have ambitions. Rising the ranks. I wish I too have ambitions. Just every few words, just uncomfortable pause. There's no expression, no real face. Forgive me if I get ahead of myself in this meeting. But I believe that it's not prepared
It's a
for
hard
this.
voice.
And also just like crap, thinking of words. If it's the pause just help think of shit. It's just I didn't actually like which introduction. You work alongside your group. It's like, while he's
Sort of.
not talking, there seems to be like no breathing whatsoever either.
Rodolph will kind of look over at Killian.
Return the look.
Cooperation may be warranted.
Excellent. Now, please have a seat. Everyone. Kind of motion over to Grin.
Kind of beat down on a chair.
As you guys all kind of take seats, one of the acolytes are going to come over and like set down this giant covered platter in front of Ordegar, and she'll take away this kind of silver bell housing, and there's this spider kind of on its back. I'm trying to describe how big this thing is. There's a spider, I think, in South America. I want to say it's like the hawk eater spider or something like that, where it's got a leg span of like 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And it's kind of like that. And it's laying on its back, and its legs are kind of out and slightly curled. And Ordegar is going to reach over, and he's going to pick up like this. It almost looks like a gravy boat. And he's going to pour this, just kind of slowly pour like this thick green liquid over the center of this thing. And the liquid's going to hiss, and the spider's going to start to hiss. And then you're going to see as his legs curl in. And he'll just kind of set it aside. And let it sit for a moment. He'll pick up this kind of large silver spoon. Just gonna give it a whack. Wipe the spoon off with this black cloth and kind of set it down and motion over for one of the acolytes, and they'll come back and they'll put that silver bell housing over the top of it, and they'll take the platter away. I do apologize. Our faith has many rituals. As we do have food coming. When possible, I try to make my sacrifices ahead of time.
Your forbearance is appreciated.
I hope it's not too gruesome for any of you. As you know, Kuthanite faith is not for everyone. Now, that we've all had introductions and taken our seats, shall we dine? And you'll see, almost as he says that, Yefka and the other acolytes are going to kind of return. They'll start setting out meals. Lots of generous portions on platters, all kind of decorated in this very gruesome scenes of like dismemberment. There's pigeons stuffed with onions, pastry drizzled with honey, roasted vegetables, stuffed dates. A lot of really good food. And as you guys eat any of it, it tastes amazing. Even Odegar is just savoring like every little small bite and morsel he takes. He'll even come around and come around himself and personally serve you each like wine or ale from these pitchers on little small side tables. He doesn't drink any of the alcohol himself. He'll have essentially like water or, I don't know, milk or something. Again, don't mind me. I don't partake myself. It dulls my sense of pain. And kind of, as the meal kind of progresses, small talk kind of continues. Please, speak your minds. And he'll kind of look up and almost motion away the acolytes, and they'll all leave and close the door behind him. It's essentially just the four of you.
While we appreciate the hospitality, we are most curious to know what information you have to share.
What brought each of you to Grey Dirge? Why are you here?
To serve.
And they'll kind of look to Killian.
Family Deem is not suited for the outside world.
Loyalty and shelter? Kind of looking to Killian. I was born in Grey Dirge. Many don't realize that. I was actually gifted to the temple very young, shortly after my parents died. I suspect it was a violent crime or some undead's appetite. But I remember very little about them. Life is defined by loss, is it not? You want to know what information I have.
That is correct.
Quick to business, you. For one so small of stature.
We are rather used to deadlines.
You should learn to enjoy the finer things. The finer moments. That said, I do have much respect for Berline. It's rare for a bloodlord to retain life rather than seek out the all too common embrace of undeath. So I have chosen to help her. She mentioned you're looking for an organization. There's a three-fingered hand for a logo, correct?
That is correct.
He's going to kind of close his eyes for a moment as he just takes one more final morsel. Mm. I have recently learned of an apparent plot to introduce some strange substances, poisons, perhaps, to Gibbs' food supply. I'm sure you are aware of this already, although maybe not the extent. This plot not involved just any remote farm, but the very farm you and your party cleared out. I did not learn of this plot from our mutual acquaintance. No. I learned from a member of my own congregation. And any smile he had kind of melts into almost a disapproving frown as he says, like, member of my own congregation. It's difficult for our worshippers to keep secrets from us. My acolytes are quite skilled. He's going to motion to grin as he says this. It's easy to recognize when one of our own has grown accustomed to our ministrations and may require extra attention. One such person was a man named Dakramat. He also happened to be a member of the Grey Dirge gang, of the Bone Shards. Now, we've not long known he worked at the Bone Shards, and it didn't concern us. It's a small, pathetic group, little more than ruffians struggling. It's not really worthy of our attention. At least that's what I had thought. It seems they have a new leader. This individual plots to poison Grey Dirge's food supply. And my parishioner heard about this from his gang's new leader, but he wasn't on the inner circle, so he didn't have any details. even under intense interrogation. Our congregation consists mostly of quick, living people. There are many others across Grey Dirge. Mass poisoning is nothing to trifle with. When word happened at old Urgag's when word of what happened at old Urgag's farm reached me, it was clear it was truly a plot against Grey Dirge, against the living residents at least. I try to keep myself and the empty threshold insulated from such schemes. I would appreciate some external assistance in this investigation. Thus, I brought you here to share what I know. The bone shards are somehow connected to what happened. And what might yet happen, if no one does anything. I can tell you where their hideout is. Try not to kill all of them. If we have information on this plot, we ought to learn who is involved.
It is in our best interest to see that the Bone Shards cannot carry out this plot. And it is in our best interest, and Grey Dirge's best interest, that they not all be put to the sword immediately. They will continue to serve, even when they are no longer acting of their own accord.
Rudolph, give me a diplomacy.
Okay.
I don't know, do you have any bonuses to that? I don't think you
Not any status bonuses, I don't think.
do. No. Okay. Nothing fancy.
Oh,
Ah!
Hey!
A 25 is a success. That's a hard 20, so that's a crit success. And he's going to kind of almost point shake his finger at Roloff. I wasn't sure about you at first. However, Master Mason, your words have moved me. I'll tell you what. Talk to my acolytes before you leave. I'm sure there is some magic that they can pass on to you. That may come in handy. Your entire group will have access to their training, should you desire it. No membership required.
The gesture is appreciated, High Priest.
And kind of close out. How was your meal, by the way? Was everything to your liking?
it was.
Excellent. I'm not very familiar with the dietary needs of one of your condition.
Apparently nothing special, but there are delights that we do enjoy.
Well, hopefully, I was able to fill some of those desires. Lord knows I will be giving extra prayers tonight. And he'll kind of say with a bit of a almost happy smile. I would say with that religion check from before rolled off, he would know it's like, oh, he means he's going to be doing a lot more, air quotes, praying later.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably have some new scars. Well, with that, and he'll kind of give a clap and like a quick double clap and call for the acolytes back in. They'll start clearing the tables. Yugefka, see that they receive any magical instruction they require. Yes, sir. And they'll go clean out the rest of the table there at the dining room. Well, this has been a very lovely evening. I will be sure to pass word to Berline. You were both excellent guests. Oh, before I forget, since we are on topic, and I've carelessly forgotten to mention so before, I would ask that you allow Gren to accompany you. At least until we deal with this poisoning problem. As I do count myself among the quick, I do not wish to see myself poisoned unwillingly.
The help would be appreciated.
Our interests are aligned.
And he'll give a small nod in agreement. Then once kind of the tables are all cleared and everything, those acolytes will come back in and they'll start to lead you out, or at least to or give you any magical instructions you would desire. Mechanically, what that means is you guys will have access to some Kuthanite spells. There it is.
I was reading some of those. Swallow Light looks really cool.
They all look kind of cool. Nope, not non-inherit. Burp. Show players. And these will be listed in the journals under Toolbox.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you happen to close that by accident, they are listed there. You guys also, Berline offered to give you guys some undead companions if you want to. And she did give you guys the Corpse Tender archetype. I forgot about that one. Change ownership.
So Inside Ropes is the worst spell ever.
It is the worst and most amazing.
Yes. It could be great and useful.
Mhm.
You just rip out your intestines and
Use them as a rope. Yep.
Yeah, you remember those those sticky hands, like the stretchy
Mhm.
ones, like flinging that to a wall and watching it slither down. It's like the opposite of that.
Yep. You don't climb as quick, but it's also way harder for you to actually critically fail and fall.
Yeah. And of course, and I love how it's like others can use your intestines climb like a squishy rope. In the
That is
description.
amazing and disgusting.
I just imagine the sounds of just slapping against the wall. Just...
Yeah. So what this would do mechanically, these are not tied to specific schools or anything like that. So the spontaneous casters like Killian and Tabitha, you guys can, I think, swap out a spell for any of those. Well, I guess you guys can swap out for Inside Ropes. swap out a cantrip. Rodolph, you could add those to your spell book or to your familiar book.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Rodolph watching as his hamster is sitting there with some Kuthanite familiar, just speaking some unknown language, just putting their heads together and going over these spells.
And that's if you want to. You could take hamster and just like, you don't need to know inside ropes.
Yeah, I think Rodolph would like to have his familiar learn these.
Now, the spell 2 ones, you guys obviously won't be able to use until level 3.
Mm-hmm.
But they are options for you. I also have to look up, like, with witches and wizards, lesser so. When you guys level up, is it like the 5 style where, like, you just automatically add a couple of spells to your repertoire?
Yeah, each time I gain a level, my patron teaches my familiar 2 new spells of any level I can cast.
Okay.
Chosen from those of my tradition or others I gain access to, which I guess would include these.
Mm-hmm. So, I will add those to your prepared spells or your spell prep, and then I don't know. I haven't added anything else, so you still have the other 2 that you can add for your first levels. Because you got mage armor from your feet.
Yeah, the lesson.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot that familiars can learn spells independently of the leveling process.
Mm-hmm.
There's still got to be another familiar involved, but like they prepare a written version of the spell, which the familiar then consumes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like these little.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like the spell gets like written out on a scroll, and then the hamster is just like tearing off little pieces and then tucking them into his cheeks, and his cheeks just keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
I'm almost picturing like it takes the scroll and it's like, remember the old Tasmanian Devil cartoon of the old Warner Brothers, and he just spins around and just shreds it. and then cheek stuffs it. Yes.
Yeah, I think that is one of the few areas where it becomes clear that the hamster is not just a regular old hamster, but it is in fact an elder entity.
God.
You have got a lot of cantrips in there. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And if you find a scroll, they can just eat it as long as it's a school of magic you can cast.
Mm-hmm.
Or which has a Quokka familiar and just did the thing where it's like they just shove the scroll down their mouth and like the thing where they just like put a finger on the top of the scroll and just push down. I just burp.
And Gren, you are not a full. You only have focus spells. You don't have the other stuff, so you wouldn't necessarily have access to those spells yet. Okay. So deal with that. Now, what do you guys want to do? You have that key to look at. You know where the hideout is. And you've got the zombie, or the troll to deal with.
I think the troll, what our new friend is capable of.
Yeah.
Okay. How much did it say to give you for that? Let me look. There it is. Dinner with Ortegar. You guys get 30 XP for learning about the key. Another 30 if you impress him. We'll give everybody 60 XP. And then we will jump back to the house. And rather than like creating some whole new map, because I don't have one, Put you guys out here. I will say it's there.
I found images for the spiked chain, and I love how stupid the face on the guy using it is.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you see this one?
Yeah. Although, I mean, if I'm using a spike chain, I would probably have that same dopey looking look on my face, like, right before it struck me in the face and killed me.
Like, looking at his left hand, it's just like, oh, he's just on PCP right now. That's why he looks like that.
LSD is a hell of a drug.
I'm on harsh tranquilizers. I can't feel anything. You're not holding the loop, you idiot. I clearly don't care right now. Bring it.
All right. So we'll do this. So you guys are setting up some bait, giving it a little bit. Jump time forward a couple hours. Midnight. We'll say midnight. Oh, cool. There's a little thing I can click for hide name. Rodolph. So this will be just before midnight. We'll have to do a check for your, what you call it, filth fever.
Yes.
There we go. Give me a, right here, right there. We'll take out the first
Oh,
one.
that clicked twice.
I don't know why I clicked twice. You succeeded though. Give me a second here. I gotta run upstairs real quick. While you guys figure out what you want, how you want to go around that fight. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I'm imagining heading for the troll. We stop off at the manor, collect the arm. And actually, let me double check and see. I just had a thought and I don't remember what cantrips I have available. I do not have prestidigitation, which is a shame. But yeah, I was thinking just lay the arm out and with the hamster inside it, and just hide and wait for the troll to come out.
Okay. So does Ran have any magic weapons, or are you all basic right
It's all basic.
now? Okay. So magic weapon would be a nice touch.
Oh yeah. It's like a +1 to hit and striking.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it +1 striking?
It's like a magic weapon is kind of insane in
Oh, the spell. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna say, I didn't think I gave you a +1 striking weapon.
Oh no. Yeah. I was looking at it's like it is really fitting, but it's like, damn, the spike chain would be really awesome if I was like a dex based one, because it's a finesse weapon.
Okay.
Which-
So, rolled off. Your filth fever drops down to tier 1. So you're gonna not feel any ill effects for 1d4 hours. It is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for like the entire campaign. It just goes between stage 1 and 2 back and forth.
That is entirely a thing that could happen. I don't know if it would go the entire campaign because it's only like a DC 14, so eventually he'll beat it, if only because his modifier will be higher than it. But
Yeah.
still.
Like 5 levels, you've just had a cult for 5 levels.
And if you wanted to, you could prepare your spells because it's been like a whole day.
Yeah, let me see.
Preparing them, all you do, hit the little trash can button for which one you want to not have, and then bring up your spell prep book and drag them out of there. I wish it automatically alphabetized them, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it would be nice, but
At least it gives you plenty of info, at least to start out. The name, the range, the all that stuff. Because I heard you were wishing that you had prestidigitation, but you don't even have that spell. So.
yeah.
That's cool.
What's that?
Magic weapon is an item bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Inspire courage is a status bonus.
Yes.
So stackage.
Yeah, what is it? Item, status, proficiency? No. Circumstance. Circumstance, item, status, ability / proficiency. So really the only ones you guys ever can directly impact on any given moment is circumstance, item, and status. On the negatives, there is an untyped negative.
Are tombstone trolls undead creatures?
No.
Okay.
Giant troll are their types.
I like that giant still attack on there despite being like not
Not a giant.
what's the opposite word? Small.
Okay, so blood ward wouldn't help with this thing. Okay.
I mean, they're still giant kin. They've just been corrupted.
I'm a miniature giant. Shut up, it's not an oxymoron. My existence is real.
World's tallest halfling. It's just a foaling. Yeah.
I'm not a little person, I'm just a very small man.
It's just a guy named Ling.
It's like Hagrid size from Harry Potter.
Just look at it, dude. Like, so are you a tall dwarf or just like a lumberjack?
Oh, that's cool. Huh.
Okay, I am all prepared and ready to roll.
All right. Go ahead and roll initiative. Everyone.
Okay.
Combat begins.
Oh, cool. It does that too. Neat. Killing, you are up.
Okay.
And
Are
yeah, kind
the
of
other
position
two out here?
We'll say they are not, just so I don't have to
Okay.
worry about them dying in combat, because
Okay.
that would suck.
Oh, for the record, the hamster is with the arm, so If the troll's where the arm is, then the hamster is next to it.
Let me see here. Hold on. With that. Detected. Troll does not notice.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Okay.
On a flat check, it rolled a 3. It needed an 11.
Beautiful.
So we'll start with the lingering composition.
Oh, I guess you guys could have rolled stealth for your initiative too, but yeah. Lingering comp.
I'm good with perception.
Did not make the flat.
Nope, that does not do it.
So that is active.
16 is the new level DC. By the way.
Then we'll put onto Gren.
Magic weapon.
Yeah.
So let's see. And it's gonna last. He's rolled a 13, so it's just a failure. Lasts one round, but you don't spend the focus. Okay.
Then magic weapon will last 1 minute.
What weapon are you putting it on? Dagger, flail, or spike chain?
Whatever they may be.
I'm
Spike
guessing spike
chain.
chain.
Yeah. If it's something like they're swinging around, it's like that.
Oh, that's cool. I like that it actually gives you the circle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That is all for Killian. My 3 actions.
Brings up Nima.
Looks like that vaporwave steam avatar effect.
I mean, stepping up to Grin and calling out all kinds of spells, I would say she notices you're there. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. Because it's midnight. So if you want to use torches, throw on the torches. I think the only one that affects is Rodolph.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Rodolph is going to be relying on the hamster's senses.
I figured. There's a familiar trait that lets you share senses, and I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look into it.
I do like that just south of the sidewalk. Still see everything, but just goes black and white.
Mm-hmm. Fix that. Burp, there we go.
Damn.
Nah, it's that front door's open.
Yeah.
See, Nima didn't notice it and is not worried because you guys are in front of her. Ooh, how big is that? Let's remove. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay. So you're gonna run up here. Burp, 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 burp. We're gonna open up with a thing called Grave Breath. cones go from the corner, I think. There it is. Okay. So Killian and Gren. You guys. Can you both give me fortitude, basic fortitude saves? Should be right there in chat. Just go click, click.
Okay.
Oof.
Not rolled off, actually. You were
Fortunately,
just outside of it.
Oh, my fault. Oh, good thing.
Yeah, good thing. So we got a quick success. No effect on Gren. But Killian. Poor Killian. Actually, this will be interesting. Let's see. Negative damage. So you're immune to that.
same.
On a failure, the creature also becomes... Oh, where'd it go? Sickened 1. So...
So if you're undead, it's just bad breath.
Mm-hmm. So on the plus side, you're immune to that. You're immune to the damage, but... and that's all 3 actions, because that was a 2-action thing. Rodolph.
Rodolph is going to be casting through his familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me double check the language on this because I don't remember if I have to command it to in order to do this or if that's separate.
I think you have to command it. But, you're right, I'm not sure.
Like, I know anything dealing with like companions, but I don't know when it comes to familiars.
Yeah, neither the spellcasting or familiar features explain that.
So I would take it as probably just as part of your action. It's just a focus. So usually it's pretty good about saying what needs to happen.
Yeah, I remember that I can cast touch range spells through my familiar. I can't remember about anything else.
Familiar abilities. Double check those. I want to say you give your familiar a command, because it's got the minion, and then it gets 2 actions to attempt to complete that command. So if it's like a 2-action spell, it can... If it's already next to it, it can do a thing. Or if it's a 1-action, it can move and cast. And shared senses lets you share senses. Or like you can see through their body. That's a familiar trait.
Yeah.
Once every 10 minutes, you can use a single action, but you're blind from your own body.
Okay, so at this time, I'm not going to bother with the familiar. Instead, I'm just going to phase bolt the troll.
Okay.
So
Let me see. You have to make... Unless you light up a torch. It's a flat check. What is the flat check? Concealed? think it's concealed. Obscure Sight does not provide a physical barrier or effect. When you target a creature that's concealed from you, you must attempt a DC 5 flat check before you roll to determine. Okay, I was right. You can hit it. That's all it means. And, like, if you roll under, you still spend the spell, but you miss.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's one of those, like, you know it's out there, so you're good.
All right, we're gonna phase bolt the troll. Attack.
That is a miss. Narrowly a miss.
Let's go ahead and use the hero point to reroll that because I want to hurt this thing. Wait, let give myself one. Stop.
Reroll.
There
we go. Why did it? Oh, I see why I did it. Reveal. Because I've still got my stuff set to blind. 15 hits.
Tremendous.
15 hits, 6 points of damage to the troll. Let's see how much it takes. 6 points of damage.
All right. At that point, I am going to attempt to hide.
Okay.
Can I hide and move, or are those separate actions?
They are separate.
Okay. I am behind larger creatures, so I will just hide.
Okay. Go ahead and hide. There's a thing for that. You are the best in the party at hiding.
That makes sense.
Yeah, select yourself, hit, hide. Okay. You are not cowering, but you're kind of like kneeling down, trying to get in behind like Killian and Gren. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You feel pretty hidden. Like Nemo looks pretty focused on Gren and Killian.
That's what we like to see.
Oh, I really hope that wasn't just on their own. Oh, I've still got that open. Out of the way. Gren, you are up, sir.
Alright, so he's just gonna kind of slowly up to this thing, kind of look down. So he shrugs a little bit, and you see these like long spiky chains kind of wrapped around his arms, just kind of slide down and extend a bit.
Okay.
And he's just gonna swing straight down on this thing like he's doing a whack-a-mole, but with effectively flails on his arms.
Are you gonna draw your weapon first?
Oh, yeah. It's the two hand. There it goes. I had the thing open, just had to click that. There it goes. Oh god, plus 10 because of the
This should be good.
Whew.
Yeah, alright, and with the magic weapon.
I like that
Oof.
it actually highlighted to let you know. It's like, yeah, magic weapon and inspire courage both. Yeah, that pushed that into a crit range.
Oh god, a 2 and a 3 got me 20 damage.
Yup.
Alright, so and I guess boom. Oh wait, no, that's me. Crap.
There
I'm used to doing this for the DM side.
we go. That kills Nemo.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Well, 20 points of damage in one swing.
Whoosh.
On top of a relatively small phase bolt. You guys dealt 26 damage in basically in one go. However,
God. troll.
Trolls have regeneration. It's not her turn yet. The trolls have regeneration. Killian. I'd say you guys know trolls well enough to know that, like, unless you hit this, unless you deal something to stop this thing's regeneration, it's not going away.
Uh,
I would say
Thing
that's
is-
common enough. Yes, Rodolph, you have a backpack.
I can't remember how to open the bloody thing up.
Click on the. There should be like a little box.
Oh, there we go. I see it.
I'm gonna put the troll in the backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lives in my backpack now. I just stuffed it in
Yes.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna regenerate into a cube.
But yeah, I figured just pour some oil over it, set it on fire.
pull out a torch and, if anything, smack it with the torch.
Yeah, I'll just evenly coat it with a pint of oil.
Well, it's Killian's turn first.
Oh, right, we're still in combat. Okay.
Yeah. Because you guys know that, like, it's going to get up here in a couple of seconds. Killian,
Well-
what do you want to do?
Is pulling out a torch and lighting it two separate actions, or is it like kind of pulling out the torch, lights it in one action?
It's 2. Especially since you don't have a torch ready.
Yeah, it won't let me. I can click on the torch, but I can't like pull it.
You have to go over to, like, the gray box and then set that to, like, one-handed. There we go. So I'll say that's going to be... I'll say that's 2 actions. Pulling it out and lighting. Because you had it all in your backpack. It's probably supposed to be 3, but that's a lot. And nah, that's fine.
So too bad I can't ready an action to like throw the torch. But I think I need 2 actions. But if anything, I'll use an action to.
Maybe. All right. So that's all 3. And Rodolph, you can see now. And it's your turn.
And it's my turn. Okay. I figure I can walk up. Let me take a step back. Can I walk up, or do I have the actions to walk up, take the torch from Killian, and then just stab the troll with it?
1, 2, 3. That'd be exactly enough to make 1 swing. Yeah.
Okay. So Rodolph would walk up. May I see that? And he'll hold his hand out for the torch.
Assuming I just hand it off, I guess? Or if it's an action, I can physically take it.
Yeah, he could just take it from you. Mike.
And then he'll just like shove it in the troll's open mouth or something.
Mm-hmm. So what we'll do for yours, we'll just say we'll just say you got one. Torch is lit. Just to make it easy. Give me
Are
a
there
swing.
any like bonuses because it's prone or unconscious?
It is. It's got a bunch of stuff. Let me see. It's considered. Where's it at? There we go. Now it should automatically do it.
Beautiful.
It's got a bunch of stuff.
All right, so we shall strike. Die.
That's a critical hit.
Love it. I just saw critical as soon as I clicked it.
Double. Why she takes 0. What? But she's weak to fire. What? Weak to fire.
Is it confused because technically dead?
Probably.
It doesn't take into account the troll thing.
Double. Nope. Doesn't matter. It hits anyway. It catches this damn thing on fire. That'll be enough to kill it. Here we go. Dead.
Hooray.
Yay! Yeah, however, if it takes... let's see. Reveal. If it takes damage type of the type listed, regeneration entry deactivates to the end of its next turn. Deactivate the regeneration before applying any damage. Since damage might kill the monster by bringing it to 4. Yeah. I was also crit, so yeah.
Tremendous.
It's dead. Yeah.
So pretty much, if it didn't kill it, we would just keep stabbing it.
Yeah.
Increase the dying condition.
Yep. Exactly. I'm not going to make you guys go through all that.
And you will all see a very bloody hamster crawl over to Rodolph and climb back up under his clothes.
Alright. And that's done. Yay!
That is one problem dealt with.
I'm not going to bother to give you guys the XP for it, because that was supposed to be for your level 1 XP. And we jumped you forward a bunch, but still. Regen's deactivated. Troll is dead.
Rodolph will look up to Gren. That was well struck.
Thank you.
What does it look like when you make a giant swing with that thing, anyway? Because, like, I have an image in my head. What's it look like for Gren to do it?
Basically, he like the way he kind of has it, it's the chain, like you see like that long one. It's like big, kind of like almost like 3 links. The middle one's kind of like around his back and shoulders, so the 2 links are kind of wrapped around his wrists, and that's how I'll just kind of like let it loose to like hang and grip the chain. And when he does a big swing, he'll just kind of pull back and then overhead sweep down with the weighted end of it, like a flail.
Does that have any reach to it?
No, it does not. It's actually weirdly enough a finesse weapon.
You think it had like a little bit of reach? You can be like 10 feet away or something.
I can definitely see the finesse.
Yeah, it's because it's yeah, like that, like it kind of wraps around you kind of thing instead of being like a long length.
Mm-hmm.
There's the meteor hammer, which is basically just a wrecking ball. Like it is a weighted ball on a chain. That one has reach.
Yep. But it's also, I don't think that's finesse.
No, it is not.
Because that's just like brute force to swing that thing.
Wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reach version of, was it the Defender from The Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
That cinder block on a chain. Which I do love the idea for a lot of characters. You just pull that out, and someone's just like, oh, I thought we were fighting. This is just some weird shit. Like, I ain't signed up for this.
Oh, there's spike chain. It's a 4-foot length of chain covered with barbs and spikes on one end, or both. Some feature metal hoops to use as grips.
In case you don't want to grab the spikes, but you know,
Well,
who
yeah,
would want to grab the
coward.
spikes?
you know, if the characters befriend Nima and allow her to remain, or convince her to relocate, award them 40 XPs if they defeat you. Again, if you guys are along.
Yeah. Oh, we don't speak Jotun.
Nope. But yeah, she's gone. So that's dealt with. Now you guys have the choice. Aside from going back inside, and I would imagine resting up a little bit, treating any wounds you guys have.
Does this second condition go away from that attack?
Let me look.
If it has a length, or you just have to kind of puke it up.
It doesn't say.
It says sicken 1. Usually, if it's like 1.
Oh yeah, that means it'll be one round. Well, no, that's on fright.
No. Yeah, Frighten goes down one every turn. The way Sicken works, you spend an action to puke, and then try to reroll the save.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm not sure if they have a time limit on it. I haven't seen one, but I haven't double checked it too much.
I think that's one where unless it says it has a time limit, it doesn't. That's it ends up being an interesting and difficult one. So Killian, all you would have to do is make a fortitude save to go over and force yourself to follow. Yeah, that's high enough. I forgot what the save was, but that's high enough.
God, Sicken's mean. You can't eat anything, including elixirs and potions.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go back inside. Tabitha can try to treat wounds on Rudolph, I guess. Let me see.
Is Rudolph hit?
He's still a little low from earlier. Way earlier.
Or was he just never healed?
He was never healed.
Never healed.
I was gonna say, I'm like, we haven't done anything for him to be injured.
Oh, Killian's got the better treat wounds. So if Killian wants to, he could.
I was gonna say, wouldn't he have been healed just by basic resting?
Not to full.
Okay.
You only regain, I think it's your con mod times your level in hit points. Which for Rodolph is 1 or 2.
Find it here. Treat poison.
Oh my god, I'm the best tracker in the party.
Treat wound success 15, woohoo! Rodolph is healed for 2.
Pretty much.
Right.
2 more. Okay, that's done with. So again, I guess to wrap out the session, Rodolph. Filth Fever had a time limit on stage 1. It's 1d4 hours. Now I rolled that. I rolled 1 hour. Can you give me a fortitude save?
You.
It's gonna
bastard
go to
little halfling.
stage 2.
Get better, damn you.
It's
You
just
were
at
1 point
point-
off. 1 point.
it's like,
Old man refuses to go to the doctor.
yeah, it's like at what point do you look over to Keely and be like, fucking help me. I saw you help Roger. Fucking help me. Because Roger got healed of it, right?
Yes. Roger got Tabitha used the anti-plague on him,
And I also
and
did treat poison.
yes, also did was it treat poison, treat disease, something like that.
Yeah.
Treat disease. To which Killian is also the best in the party. Yeah, I think you've got the best medicine in the
We're not at that point yet.
party.
Living Grandpa
It's like-
Rudolph just like, I need soup and a nap. I'll be fine.
There's like a commercial lately about mental health. It's like the guy's like bitten by a snake or bitten by like a rattler or something. He's like, his foot's all wrapped up and he's hauling this like cowboy saddle. It's like, we gotta get this herd in, and just falls over. Somebody else comes over, it's like picks up the saddle. It's like, it's okay to ask for help sometimes. And just walks off with the saddle. Now I just need to have Rodolph walking across the place with the saddle. Separately. Gren has the highest AC in the party.
That makes sense.
Even without a shield.
Was it like 19 or something?
20.
Oh.
That plate.
That plate, and he's a champion.
I get a bonus for being a champion.
You don't yet. But you will. Champions have higher armor training than anyone. They have the highest armor training. Fighters have the
okay,
highest
I love-
weapon training.
Yeah,
Champions
yeah,
have the
so-
highest armor training.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Also,
you
it's-
get like legendary armor.
Were my
Yes.
saves supposed to go up when we leveled up? Because it looks like they did on the Path Builder sheet.
Your Phil Fever, doesn't it mess with your saves and stuff? Or no?
I don't think.
It did on the character sheet. Yeah. Give me a second.
Uh,
Let me get all
Or
this
is it 'cause
wrapped up.
You're at stage 2 again.
Shouldn't have. I don't know. Hold on.